Hi everyone. Today I want to talk about something very important. Gender equality. Maybe you've heard this word before, but what does it really mean? And why do people talk about it so much? Is there a problem? Or is everything already equal? Let's find out together. First, let's talk about what gender equality means. It means that everyone, no matter if they are male or female, should have the same rights, the same chances, and the same respect. It sounds simple, right? But in real life, it's not always like that. Let me tell you a story. When I was in middle school, my friend Amy was really good at science. She loved doing experiments and solving problems. She dreamed of becoming an engineer. One day, we had a guest speaker, a real engineer, visit our school. He gave a talk and then asked the class, "Who wants to be an engineer?" Amy raised her hand quickly. But then the speaker said, "That's great. We need smart young men like you. Did you notice something?" He thought only boys wanted to be engineers. He didn't even see Amy's hand. And she looked sad. After that day, she still studied hard, but she wasn't as confident. This is one small example of the problem. Sometimes, people believe that boys are better at math or science, and girls are better at art or language. But this is not true. Studies show that boys and girls can do equally well in any subject. The real problem is in people's minds. These ideas, called stereotypes, can hurt people's dreams. Now let's look at some facts. In many countries, more women go to college than men. That's great, right? But in the workplace, men still get paid more than women for the same job. In 2023, the World Economic Forum reported that women, on average, earn only about 80% of what men earn. That's a big gap. It's like a boy and a girl doing the same work, but the boy gets 1,000 yen and the girl gets only 800 yen. That's not fair. Also, when we look at who becomes a boss or a leader, most of them are men. In many big companies, very few women are in top positions. Even in politics, the number of female leaders is much lower than male leaders. Why is that? Some people say, maybe women don't want to be leaders. But actually, many women do want to lead. They just don't get the same chances. Some companies think women will stop working when they have children, so they don't promote them. Others believe that men are stronger and better at making big decisions. Again, these are stereotypes, not facts. Let me ask you a question. Have you ever seen a man crying? Maybe yes, maybe no. But when a man cries, people often say, "Don't cry, be a man." They think men must always be strong, must not show feelings. That's also a kind of gender problem. Gender equality is not only about helping women, it's about giving freedom to everyone to be themselves. Boys should be able to enjoy cooking, dancing, or wearing pink. Girls should be able to climb trees, play soccer, or be scientists. These choices should not be about gender. They should be about what each person loves. Let's think about another example, housework. In many homes, mothers cook, clean, and take care of children. Fathers go to work. But now, things are changing. More women have jobs, and more men help at home. Still, women often do more housework than men, even when both are working full-time. That's tiring, isn't it? Imagine studying all day and then doing all the cleaning while your brother relaxes and plays games. That doesn't feel fair. So what can we do? First, we can learn to question old ideas. If someone says, "Girls can't be doctors," or "Boys shouldn't play with dolls," we can ask, why not? There's usually no good reason. Second, we can support each other. If your friend wants to do something different from what people expect, say, "Go for it." If a boy wants to be a nurse or a girl wants to drive a truck, cheer them on. Third, we can speak up when we see unfairness. If a teacher always asks boys to carry heavy things, we can say, "Girls can help too." If a company pays women less, workers can ask questions and demand change. You don't have to be angry. You don't have to fight. But you can use your voice. Sometimes people say, "But things are better than before." That's true. 100 years ago, women in many countries couldn't even vote. Now they can vote, go to school, work, and have more rights. We've come a long way, but we're not there yet. In some countries, girls are still not allowed to go to school. In others, women cannot choose who to marry. In many places, violence against women is still a big problem. Even in rich, modern countries, people face unfair treatment just because of their gender. So gender equality is not a small issue. It's a big global challenge. But the good news is, we can all help. Every small action matters. Even just listening to this talk is a step. You're thinking. You're learning. That's how change begins. Let me tell you one more story before I finish. There's a country called Iceland. In 1975, many women there went on strike. They stopped working, cooking, cleaning, everything. For one whole day, they showed how much they do every day. The whole country stopped, and people saw the truth. That day changed things. A few years later, Iceland got its first female president. Today, it's one of the top countries for gender equality. What can we learn from that? When people work together, when they speak up, when they believe in fairness, things can change. So what's the problem with gender equality? The problem is not that we don't know what's fair. The problem is that we don't always act on it. But we can, and we must. Let's make a world where everyone can be themselves. A world where your gender doesn't decide your future. A world where respect is for all. Thank you for listening.